Hi guys, it looks like I will be out for a couple more days. If you're able to find the video and people around you are having trouble, can you please help them and just make sure they can find a way to get to it. So what I want to do is just kind of give you the video, try to give you the lesson like if I were there. So I'll ask you to like pause and restart, try a question, and then pause the video and then restart and stuff like that. So it's really just to give you a personal lesson for this. But before we get started, I'm going to show you my helpers. Dixie, Brooklyn. Dixie. Rosa Ball, Brooklyn. Come here. Hey, Brooklyn. They're helping me out this morning. I'll try to show you again if they can slow down for a little bit. I'll show them again before we get off. So what I'm gonna do is put this video up here, and I want you to follow along with me on page 14. Just kind of go at your own pace. If you need to stop and back up at any point, please do so. The point in this is so that we can continue on with our lessons. We kind of went a little slower last week because I wanted you to really get what we were doing with two-step equations so we can move on from there. So now we're not slowing down anymore. We need to pick back up. So this is my way of doing that without being able to be there. I think I should be back on Thursday, hopefully Thursday or Friday. I'm not sure which day I'm going to be given the go ahead. I'm thinking Thursday though. So please be good if you're hopefully there's no issues with subs. There shouldn't be because you have your job, you know what you're supposed to do. Just understand that I won't get those quizzes graded though until I get there. So they're going to be a little bit later because I have to get there, get them, grade them, and then go back through your old grades to update everything. So everything's kind of on hold grade wise for right now, but just be patient. We'll get to it. Okay, so on page 14, I just want you to write along with me. I'll try to go slow so that you can gather what you need. But this first thing for identity, there's a reason why we're going to need this later, but that's just when two things are equal to each other. So if I have something like 13, I don't know why I choose 13, but 13 equals 13, that is an identity because it's like looking in the mirror. So when you look in the mirror, you're getting your identity back. So it's just when two things are equal on either side. And that's going to come up a little bit later in our lesson. Okay, so down here in the notes section, I want you to take a moment and copy this question. And what we're doing with it is we're solving just like how we did last week, except now we've got a variable on both sides. So notice how I have a y on the left of the equal sign. When I say sides, I mean of the equal sign. And I also have a y on the right-hand side. And so what I'm trying to do is combine that together as one. So I'll show you a couple different ways to do it, but first just make sure you have it written down. And then once you have that, I'm going to go with the way Siri showed me in class. Hello, Siri. The way she showed me that I think will be helpful for some of you. Okay, so what you want to try to do is get your variables on one side and you want to get your numbers on the other side. I personally, when it's easier, I personally like to have the variables on the left-hand side. So basically, I want this 3y to go over here on this side. Okay, so the way I'm going to do that is to do the opposite so that it cancels. So like negative 3y, I'm going to do that so it cancels out. I'm going to bring that over here with this one, negative 3y. So then now it's very important that you write down what you're left with. So if I have 5y minus 3y is going to be a 2y. And then this is minus 8 equals, and then I'm left with 12 on the other side. I guess I should have made this a little bit bigger, huh? Dixie's trying to play ball with me while I'm working here. Okay, so now I have my two y's on the left. Now I've got to get rid of the 8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 8 to both sides because I want that to go on the other side. That way I'm left with my 2y on this side, which is great. And now I have what, 20? and then I can divide by 2. And so my final answer is y equals 10. Okay, so again, it's not that much different than what you were doing before, other than you've got to get your variables together as well. Okay, so we're really just going to be practicing that for the next couple of days, and then we'll move on when I get back, hopefully on Thursday. All right, so continue on with me though. Don't turn off the video yet. Now what I want you to do is, oh yeah, we have a couple other things that could happen. So in this case, we have an answer of y equals 10. Now, if you look down here, though, we have 2 other solutions that could happen. We could have what's called an infinitely many solution, or we could have a no solution. Okay, so what I did was I wrote down 2 questions. One of them will give us one and one is the other. And I just want to use the notes at the top to show you how to get those. All right, so again, this is going to take some time. So just settle down and be patient. But I need you to put down this section of your notes. I need you to write these 2 questions down. So you go ahead and do that for a second. I think I've got to get the ball for the dogs. They put it behind the couch. So I'm going to pause this real quick. You write these questions down and I will be right back. Okay, they're all happy now. Real quick. Trying to get pictures of them. Working. Don't mind the floor. We're getting flooring back here soon. So it's just made minor. I mean, it's just plain concrete for now. Okay, so anyway, so let's go through our list of steps that we have up here at the top. So if we go back to, I'm sorry, they're on the next page. So step 1 says to use the distributive property to remove any grouping symbols. So if we go back to this question here, well, I can definitely do that. I can distribute this -4 to both. Now, if you would like to, y'all been doing this for a while. So if you want to pause the video and try it yourself before I show you, that would be perfectly fine. Sometimes it's hard to learn when you're just writing what someone else is doing rather than trying it yourself first. So if you want to do that, pause the video, try a couple steps, and then start the video again. No big deal. Okay, so whenever you're ready, this would be -4 times 2x would be a -8x. And then -4 times 1 is going to be a -4. That's very important that we do that correctly. Okay. The other side just stays the same. Now, if we go back to our steps, it says now simplify the expression on each side of the equation. Well, there's nothing to simplify. There's nothing to simplify on the left, nothing to simplify on the right. So the next step says collect the variable terms on one side of the equation. So that means I want to take my, not working with me right now. Okay, I want to take my -8x here maybe and move it to the other side. I'm going to do that by adding 8x. So if you need to see at least that part, I'll show that. So the -8x and the +8x will cancel. But oh no, look what happens over here. It also cancels on this side. -8x and +8x cancel as well right there. So I have -4 equals -2 that I'm left over. Now, is that a true statement? Obviously, -4 is not equal to -2. So when that happens, any case that you have that happen, we're going to call that a no solution. And so that means that we have no solution because it's not equal on both sides. Okay, let's see what happens in the other situation, which is an infinitely many solutions. Again, if anything goes too fast, feel free to stop and back up, rewatch it, maybe even without writing. So let's go over here to this side and try this one. So again, the first step was to distribute anything. Now this side of the equal sign does not need to be distributed, so I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to distribute just the 3. So 3 times 1 would be 3. And then 3 times -3x would be -9x. And then notice this -8, though, is not going to get distributed to the 3 because it's not inside parentheses. Okay, so for this first step, all I did was distribute the 3 to the 1 and the -3x. Second step, again, says to simplify on either side. Well, this side, I can't really do anything. -5 minus 9x. I'm just going to leave that. But on the right side, 3 and -8, I can put together and call that -5. So I'm going to leave the -9x there, but I'm going to take the 3 and the -8 and call it -5. Okay? So again, notice it's one step at a time. There's no sense in rushing this. All right, now from the right-hand side, I want to get this guy over here, which means I've got to do the opposite. So I'm going to do plus 9x plus 9x to the other side. So I'm left with -5. Uh-oh, my -9x and my positive 9x cancel over here also. So that's another situation where my variables are going to cancel out, and I'm left with -5 equals -5. Now, is that a true statement? And yes, obviously -5 is equal to -5. So in that case, we have the other option there, which is called an infinitely many. So I'm going to write this as IM, which stands for infinitely many solutions. And those are just two situations where outcomes that could happen. Okay, so we're 9 times out of 10, we're going to get an answer like we did here, y equals 10. But then there's going to be every once in a while where there's no solution or an infinitely many solution. So just look out for it. Okay, so now we need to start practicing. And, if you guys work good over the next couple of days, I really have just assigned things that you can do in class. And you really shouldn't have to do any homework just because I'm not there to be able to, collect it and help you with it and all that. So I'm really just kind of making it basic for you. But that means you have to work in class though. So if you're in class and you're able to do the work, you need to do that so that you don't have any homework, okay, at least until I get back. All right, so what I'd like for you to do, we're going to start out very easy here. We're not going to do all of these, but I'm going to point out to the ones that I do want you to do. So for this first one, question 1, what I'd like for you to do is pause the video. Please pause it. I know some of you are just going to try to work right through and write down what I have. Pause the video, try it first, and then when you're ready, hit play on the video so you can see how it works. Okay, so go ahead and pause now. And if you haven't paused, pause now. Okay, so hopefully you have something on your paper for question 1 here. And let's see, so for this one, this is not a situation where putting the variable on the left really makes sense. You could do that if you want to. But in this case, I'm thinking, well, why don't I just move the -3x over here instead? So if there's my separator, right, I'm going to add 3x then to both sides. And it's possible that you didn't do it this way and you still could have gotten the same answer. So just hold off if you didn't think to add 3x yet. So that would subtract out. So I'd be left with 12 equals -3x. That's from -6 and +3. And then I'm going to divide by -3. So x is equal to -4. Now, if you thought to move the 6x over, that's fine. You would just have to have also moved the 12. So you would have ended up with the same thing. Okay, if you didn't get that right, what I need you to do is take a moment and pause the video, back up, fix or correct anything that you had that was wrong the first time you did it. And remember, it's okay. Please try them because it's okay to try them and get them wrong. That's what makes you learn. Okay, now is just notes, so there's no pressure in getting it right. Okay, so question 2, I want you to do the same thing. Pause the video. Okay, when you're ready to go over it, I'm thinking there's my line there. So I would subtract 5z. That's what I'm thinking to do. Now, you didn't have to do that. You could have moved the 17 over. Doesn't matter. Wherever you want to start is up to you. So I would, that cancels out. Now be careful here. We might think that -5 and -5 cancel, but actually it doesn't. -5 and -5 is -10. So this would be -10z equals 17. Okay, then I'm still trying to get this z by itself. So I would probably subtract 7. Now notice here how you might have thought to add 7, but this negative sign is behind the 7, not in front of it. You have to do the opposite of what's in front of the 7. So that makes this cancel if I subtract 7. So I'm going to subtract 7 to the other side. Okay, so now I have dropped this down exactly the way you see it. Negative 10z is actually what I'm left with. Now 17 minus 7 is just going to be 10. And then my last step is to divide by negative. So then my answer is z equals negative 1. Okay, so again, if you wrote that down and you're kind of like, hey, I'm not really sure, take your time, stop the video, back it up, and just watch it and make it make sense to you, okay, without writing. And if you had anything that was incorrect, feel free to change that right now. All right, let's see next one. So number 3, same thing. I want you to pause the video, try it on your own, and then restart the video when you're ready. Okay, hopefully you were thinking to subtract 8k sides. And this would leave you with negative 5k on the left, because 3 and negative 8 would be negative 5, plus 45. Okay. Now I want to subtract 45. I'm left with negative 5k equals negative 20. That's the 25 and the negative 45 added together. And then I'm going to divide by negative 5. So k is equal to 4. All right, hopefully you did a little bit better on that one. And we're just going to keep going and try to get through all the ones that I would have you do in class if I were there. Okay, so you're just kind of walking along. We are going to skip number 4 right now, just because I'm not there to help you with the fractions. But let's just move on to 5 and 6. All right, so again, pause the video, try 5, and then if you feel pretty good about 5, try 6 also, and then start the video when you're done to check it. Okay, so in number 5, I don't have anything to distribute on either side, but I do have some things to combine. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to leave this 5q plus 6 on the left, but then on the right, I'm going to take this 2q plus 1q and make that 3q. And that's just step 2 of my steps that I had, where it said, if you don't have anything to distribute, now let's add things on either side. And so that's what I did there. I just combined like terms. Okay, so now that I have that, this process should be pretty easy. I'm going to subtract 3q, subtract 3q. And hopefully you know now why we're subtracting 3q like that. Trying to get the q's to the left. So 5q minus 3q is 2q. Leave the plus 6, I haven't done anything with that yet, and leave the negative 2. So all I'm doing is I'm dropping this down. All right, now I need to solve for q, and this is just a 2-step equation. So I would subtract 6 to both sides. Now I have 2q equals negative 8. Careful with the signs there, negative 2 and negative 6 would be a negative 8. And then I'm going to divide by 2. So q is equal to negative 4. So again, if there's anything on that was a little confusing, feel free to stop and backtrack and watch it again without writing so that it makes sense to you. And you're going to be practicing these on your own tomorrow over the next couple of days. So it's very important that you're getting the lesson now. All right, let's see. And next one. Okay, so number 6. Just want to make sure you know where the equal sign is and what we're trying to do. Hopefully you're thinking the first step is to simplify these two guys. I'm going to add those together, combine them because they both have x in them. So I would have 8, let's see, 6 and negative 10 is going to be a negative 4. And then this will be 16 minus 8x. So notice it's okay to rewrite things that you haven't worked with. Right now, I want to get my x's to the other side. So I'm thinking I want this negative 8 to go over to the other side. So That means I need to add 8x, and also the same thing over here. Okay, so that will cancel on the right-hand side. And now let's combine. So we'd have this 8 here, -4 and +8 would be a +4x. Now we're going to subtract 8 to both sides. So we have 4x equals 8, and then divide by 4. So then x is 2. All right, again, feel free to stop and back up and retry. Okay, so now we're moving along. Those were probably what I would call our easy one. Actually, 7 is going to be pretty easy too. And then we're getting to make them a little bit harder, and then we're also going to finish off with some no solution or infinite memories. All right, so if you want to, at this point, I feel like you're at a situation where you can try yourself. So I want you to pause the video. I want you to try 7, 8. Let's also do 9. Okay, so 7, 8, and 9, and then you can unpause whenever you're ready to see it. Pause the video now, please. Okay, so when you're ready, I'm just going to do this quickly because at this point, I think you've got the idea. You should. If you still have questions, please make sure you ask people in your group, ask the sub, anyone that can help out if you need it. And I'm just kind of going with the flow here because this is hopefully something you already have on your paper. So let's double check and make sure for number 7, you got A equals 3. If so, be proud of that. Be happy about it. Okay, so number 8, first step I would do here is distribute. Make sure you have 8b minus 12. That's because 2 has to get distributed to 6 as well. And then on this side, 4 times 3 will be 12b, and then minus 28. Now I can move my 12b over to my 8b. I would have a -4 b minus 12 equals 20. Now we're going to add 12 of -4b equals -16 divided by -4. So be super proud of that if you got that one right. And congratulations. If not, again, like I said, feel free to stop the video and back up and find out where you went wrong. All right, now for 9, we're going to do 8 times 2 would be 16r minus 24 minus r equals 9r plus 6. Right now, first thing I want to do is combine this left-hand side. So 16r and -1r is going to be 15r. Minus 24 equals 6. I'm going to give a 9r to the other side. So 15r minus 9r is 6r. 24 equals 6. Then I'm going to add 24. So 6r equals 30. Divide by 6. And r is 5. All right, very nice. Hopefully by now you're getting that. Again, feel free to rewatch the video tonight or whatever if you need to. But I mean, there's really no excuse. You are having a individualized lesson. So when I come back, there's really should be no one that has problems doing this. Okay, let's move on to, to the next type. And we'll just do 11 and 12 and then we'll be done. So again, pause the video, try 11 and 12 on your own, see which one you think it is, and then restart when you're ready. All right, so the first thing I would do here is distribute. So I have 24s plus, oh shoot, 72 equals, oh gosh, I gotta do it again. 24s and then 14 times 8. 120. What in the world? 122? All right, so either way, it actually doesn't matter because when you subtract 24s here, You're going to notice that it cancels on both sides, and you're left with two numbers that are not equal to each other. So in that case, that would be a no solution. All right, so on the next number 12, we're going to have 16f plus 24 equals 16f plus 24. When my 16f's subtract to both sides, they cancel out. I'm left with 24 equals 24, which is an infinitely many. Okay, and I think we'll just stop there. That's the idea of the whole lesson. That's what you're responsible for today and tomorrow. And then hopefully I'm back the next day. So you're just going to be practicing this for tomorrow. As far as tonight's homework, you don't necessarily have anything. The only thing I would maybe suggest you do is if you had any problems with these when you work them yourself on your own, I would take a separate sheet of paper and just rewrite the question again and try it from the beginning without having to look or without having to go back to the solutions to see if you can do it independently, because the whole point is to get to independency. Okay, so actually, if you have any time in class left right now, why don't you do that? Why don't you take out a sheet of paper and just kind of redo some of these questions separately. And remember to stay good for the sub. All you have to do is what they're giving you to do. If you don't have anything to do right now, like I said, try some of these questions. Just find something to keep yourself busy, okay, so that you're not causing a disturbance. And you should have all the notes that you need. So again, feel free to go back and watch it if you need to. All right, but I'm hoping to see you guys soon, and everybody stay safe and good luck with this. I know you'll enjoy it. Bye.